Commander Juwu Park stood at the observation deck of the Pathfinder, Earth's first deep space exploration vessel, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond Pluto's orbit. The ship had been her home for the past 3 years as they mapped the outer reaches of the solar system. "Commander, you need to see this," called Lieutenant Minho Choi over the comm. "We've detected something unusual near the heliosphere boundary." Juwu made her way to the bridge, where the crew huddled around the main display. A small object pulsed with faint blue light against the darkness of space. "What is it?" she asked. "Unknown," replied Science Officer Heun Sung. "It's not natural. The energy signature is stable and seems to be powered by something we can't identify." Juwu leaned closer to the screen. "How did we miss this before?" "It wasn't active until now," Heun explained. "It just turned on." The decision was made quickly. They would investigate. The Pathfinder changed course and approached the mysterious object. It was roughly cylinder-shaped, covered in markings unlike any human language. "Prepare the retrieval drone," Juwu ordered. Hours later, the object sat in the ship's quarantine lab. Dr. Taho Kim, the mission's xenolinguist, studied the markings with growing excitement. "These patterns repeat in ways that suggest language," he said, "but it's unlike anything in our databases." Juwu reached out, her hand hovering above the smooth surface. "May I?" Taho nodded. When her fingers touched the object, it pulsed brighter. A hum filled the room. The markings shifted and rearranged themselves. "It's responding to human contact," Taho whispered. Before anyone could react, the object projected a beam of light upward. The ship's systems reported an intense energy burst traveling outward from their position. "It's broadcasting," Heun said, voice tight with alarm. "Broadcasting far beyond our solar system." Juwu pulled her hand back, but it was too late. The beacon continued to pulse. "What did I just do?" she asked. 3 days later, Earth's early warning systems detected multiple objects entering the solar system. Not asteroids or natural phenomena. Ships. Massive ships moving with purpose toward Earth. The world held its breath. Military forces went on high alert. The Pathfinder was ordered to return immediately. By the time Juwu's ship docked at the orbital station, the alien vessels had positioned themselves in Earth's orbit. 3 distinct designs suggested 3 different species or factions. "We come in peace," came the first transmission, translated by Earth's supercomputers. "We are the Galactic Concord, a union of species dedicated to peace and knowledge. We welcome humanity to the stars." The aliens called themselves the Vela, the Ari, and the Thandari. They appeared as different from each other as they were from humans. The Vela had smooth blue skin and 4 arms. The Ari resembled tall, slender insects with compound eyes. The Thandari looked almost reptilian, with scaled skin in shades of red and gold. World leaders gathered at the United Nations. The aliens sent representatives. They spoke of shared knowledge, technological exchange, and humanity's bright future among the stars. They claimed the beacon was a test, a sign humanity was ready to join the galactic community. In the weeks that followed, Juwu found herself assigned to the diplomatic team. Dr. Taho Kim worked beside her, translating and analyzing the aliens' language and behavior. One night, as they reviewed transcripts in their private office, Taho frowned. "Something's wrong," he said. "What do you mean?" Juwu asked. Taho pointed to several conversations. "See these responses." When Ambassador Summon asked about their history with other species, the Vela mentioned 15 members of the Concord. But when President Juno asked a similar question, the Ari mentioned 17. "Could be a translation error," Juwu suggested. "Maybe. But these inconsistencies keep appearing. Small things, but they add up." More troubling patterns emerge. The aliens were eager to share certain technologies, medical advances, clean energy, but became evasive when asked about space travel, weapons, or certain aspects of physics. "They're controlling what knowledge we receive," Taho said. "Why?" One evening, Ambassador Rian of the Vela invited Juwu to tour their ship. She walked through gleaming corridors, marveling at the advanced technology. As they passed a laboratory, she noticed screens showing familiar images. "Is that Earth?" she asked. "It's some kind of storage device," Tahoe explained as they gathered in Juwu's office. "And it's not just 50,000 years old. It's much older. The aliens lied about that." "Can you access what's inside?" Juwu asked. "Not directly. But the scan shows patterns similar to data storage systems. I think I can decode parts of it." 2 weeks later, Tahoe made a breakthrough. "The artifact contains star maps," he told the group. "Maps that show regions of space the aliens claim are uninhabited or dangerous. And there's more. The symbols on its surface tell a story about the home." "Home of what?" Nari asked. "I'm not sure yet," Tahoe admitted. "But I think it might be talking about the home of humanity." Their discussion was interrupted when Dongyun burst into the room. "The aliens know we scanned the artifact. They're questioning Luna Base staff right now." "We need to leave," Juwu decided. "If they find us, we'll never learn the truth." They escaped on a supply ship bound for the asteroid mining operation at Ceres. Juwu had connections there, people who questioned the aliens' motives and had built a hidden research facility inside a hollow asteroid. Once safe in the hidden base, they continued their work. Tahoe and Nari worked day and night to decode the artifact's data. "Look at this," Nari said one evening, pointing to a holographic display. "This star system here, the artifact keeps highlighting it, but it doesn't appear on any of the maps the aliens gave us. The system was located in a region the aliens had marked as void space, supposedly empty and of no interest." "There's something else," Tahoe added. "The symbol that appears next to this system translates roughly as birthplace or origin." "Birthplace of what?" Donghyun asked. "Of us," Juwu said quietly. "I think we found humanity's true home, and the aliens don't want us to know it exists." As if responding to her words, the holographic map suddenly expanded, showing a clear path from their solar system to the mysterious star. The artifact's data was revealing itself, showing them the way to a truth the Galactic Concord had tried to hide. "We need to go there," Juwu said, looking at each of her companions. "We need to see what they're hiding." "That's across countless light years," Dongyun pointed out. "We don't have ships that can travel that far." Nari smiled slightly. "Actually, I've been studying their propulsion technology. I think I could modify one of our scout ships. It wouldn't be comfortable, but it could get us there." "Then let's do it," Juwu said. "Whatever we find in that system, it has to be the key to understanding why the aliens really came to Earth." As they made their plans, the holographic map continued to pulse with light, beckoning them toward a distant star and the secret of humanity's past. The scout ship Curiosity drifted through the void between stars, its hull modified with sleek alien technology. Inside the cramped cabin, Juwu checked the navigation display for the 100th time. 3 more days until we reached the coordinates," she told her team. They had been traveling for nearly a month. Dr. Nari Lee had successfully adapted the alien propulsion system to their small vessel, allowing them to cross vast distances faster than any human ship before. The journey hadn't been comfortable. 4 people living in a space designed for 2, with recycled air and limited supplies. "The aliens will have noticed we're gone by now," Colonel Dongyan Kang said, cleaning his service pistol. It was a habit from his military days. "They might be following us." "They'd need to know where we're going first," Tahoe replied, not looking up from his work decoding more of the artifact's data. "And I don't think they expected humans to figure out their technology so quickly." Nari emerged from the engine room, her face streaked with grease. "The drive is holding steady. We should reach our destination without problems." 3 days later, alarms blared throughout the ship. Juwu rushed to the bridge, followed by the others. "What's happening?" she asked. Nari's fingers flew across the control panel. "We're approaching the star system. but something's wrong. There's some kind of energy field ahead. On the view screen, a shimmering wall of blue energy surrounded the entire star system like a bubble. I've never seen anything like this, Neri said. It's not natural. Dong-Yun studied the sensor readings. It's a defense system. Look at these energy spikes. They're weapons platforms. Thousands of them, forming a sphere around the whole system. Can we get through? Ju asked. Dong-Hyun frowned. Not easily. This is military technology far beyond anything Earth has. Probably beyond even what the aliens have shown us. Why protect an empty system with such heavy defenses? Tahoe wondered. Because it's not empty, Ju said quietly. And someone doesn't want visitors. They spent 2 days observing the defensive field from a safe distance. Neri analyzed its energy patterns while Dong-Yun assessed its tactical weaknesses. I think I found something, Neri finally announced. The field pulses in a regular pattern. There's a point where the energy briefly weakens every 14 hours. Enough for us to slip through? Ju asked. Maybe. If we time it perfectly and use minimal power, we'd essentially be drifting through with momentum only. And if we're wrong? Tahoe asked. Dong-Hyun answered bluntly. Then we get vaporized. The decision wasn't easy, but they all agreed to try. They positioned the ship at the calculated entry point and waited for the precise moment. When Neri gave the signal, they cut power and drifted forward. The ship slipped through the weakened section of the field. For a terrifying moment, blue energy crackled around the hull, sensors going haywire. Then they were through, power restored, and flying into the protected star system. It worked, Neri exclaimed. The system had a yellow star similar to Earth's sun. They detected 8 planets, the third one showing signs of liquid water and oxygen. It's habitable, Neri confirmed as they approached. Gravity slightly stronger than Earth's, but we should be able to function normally. From orbit, they could see vast oceans and continents, but unlike Earth, there were no lights on the night side, no signs of active civilization. They landed in a clearing surrounded by strange, silver-leaf trees. The sky had a slight purple tinge, but otherwise, they might have been standing on Earth. Air is breathable, Neri said, checking her portable sensor. No dangerous microbes detected. They stepped out of the ship, weapons ready, but found only silence. In the distance, they could see crumbling structures half covered by vegetation. A dead city, Dong-Yun said. They approached cautiously. The buildings were unlike any architecture on Earth, graceful spires and curved walls made of a smooth white material that hadn't deteriorated despite obvious age. These ruins must be thousands of years old, Tahoe said, examining markings on a fallen column. Yet the material seems almost new. Something caught Juwoo's eye, a symbol carved into a doorway, the same symbol from the artifact, meaning birthplace. We need to go inside, she said. The doorway led to a vast underground complex. Using lights from their suits, they navigated through corridors and chambers. The walls were covered with images, scenes of a civilization at its peak. Tall structures reaching to the clouds, ships traveling between planets. Look at the people in these images, Tahoe said, shining his light on a mural. They all stared in shock. The figures looked human, completely human. That's impossible, Neri whispered. Unless humans didn't evolve on Earth, Ju finished. Deeper in the complex, they found a circular chamber with a platform in the center. When Ju stepped onto it, the room came to life. Lights activated along the walls, and a holographic image appeared. A man in strange, flowing clothes. Welcome, travelers, the hologram said in a language none of them understood. But as it spoke, symbols appeared in the air. Symbols Tahoe recognized from the artifact. I can translate this, he said excitedly. It's an ancient form of the language I've been studying. The hologram continued speaking as Tahoe translated. This is the historical archive of Terran Prime, homeworld of humanity. If you are viewing this message, You are descendants who have found your way home." They listened in stunned silence as the hologram told the story. Humans had originated on this planet, not Earth. They had built a vast civilization spanning dozens of star systems. They had encountered other intelligent species and formed alliances. But not all aliens welcomed human expansion. Tahoe translated. Some feared us, our adaptability, our drive to explore and conquer. They saw us as a threat. The hologram showed scenes of a terrible war. Human ships battling alien vessels, planets burning. We were losing the war, the message continued. Our enemies had united against us. As a last resort, we sent ships carrying our people to distant, hidden worlds. Earth was one such world. Nari gasped. That's why the aliens came when we activated the beacon. It was a warning system, telling them humans had reached a technological level where we might rediscover our past. The Galactic Concord isn't about peace, Don Yun said grimly. It's about keeping humanity contained. The hologram's final words chilled them all. If you have found this place, beware. The enemy will not allow humanity to rise again. They have dedicated millennia to ensuring our extinction or containment. But now, you know the truth. You are not alone in the universe. And this is not how your story was meant to end. As the hologram faded, Juwu looked at her companions. We need to bring this knowledge back to Earth. Everything we've been told is a lie. If we can make it back, Dong Yen said, getting through that defense field again won't be easy. And if the aliens discover what we've learned, they'll do everything they can to stop us. Juwu finished. But we have to try. Humanity deserves to know the truth. Juwu and her team spent hours exploring the underground archive. The holographic system responded to their presence, revealing more chambers and more information. They stood transfixed as the story of humanity's true past unfolded before them. I can't believe this, Nari whispered as she watched images of vast human cities spanning entire planets. We were an interstellar civilization tens of thousands of years ago. Tahoe had improved his translation of the ancient language. According to these records, humans originated here on Terran Prime. We expanded to over 200 star systems. The holographic display showed humans building magnificent structures, crafting technologies far beyond what current Earth scientists could imagine. Ships that could bend spacetime, energy sources that could power planets, medicine that could extend life for centuries. We were the dominant species in this sector of the galaxy, Don Yen said, watching scenes of humans meeting with alien species. Some aliens looked familiar, ancestors of the Vela, Ori, and Thandari. Not just dominant, Tahoe corrected, reading a new set of symbols. We were technologically superior to all other species we encountered. We helped some advance, traded with others, but we were always ahead. The holograms shifted to darker scenes, alien representatives arguing with humans, disputes over territories and resources. Some alien species became afraid, Tahoe translated. They saw our rapid expansion as a threat. They believed humans would eventually control the entire galaxy. So what happened? Juwu asked. The answer came in scenes of terrible destruction. A coalition of alien species united against humanity. While individually less advanced, together they outnumbered humans greatly. The Great War lasted nearly 50 years, Tahoe read. Billions died on all sides. Entire planets were destroyed. Don Yun studied the battle tactics with professional interest. We fought well, but they had numbers, and they were willing to sacrifice their own worlds to destroy ours. The final battles showed the fall of the last human strongholds. Terran Prime itself was attacked, its surface bombarded from orbit. The survivors fled underground or escaped in ships to distant, hidden colonies. Earth was one such colony, Tahoe explained. A place so remote that the aliens might never find it. The refugees who arrived, there were just a small group with limited technology. The most disturbing revelation came next. The coalition, fearing humanity would rise again, didn't just defeat humans. They systematically erased human history. They destroyed our cities, our records, our technology, Tahoe said. Then they did something worse. The hologram showed alien scientists working with human genetic material. Neri gasped. They modified our DNA. Yes, Tahoe confirmed. They deliberately limited human potential, made us less intelligent, shorter-lived, more prone to disease and conflict. So when our ancestors arrived on Earth, Ju began. They were already changed, Tahoe finished, and the coalition established monitoring stations in our solar system. They watched as humanity struggled from stone tools to bronze to iron. They made sure we developed slowly. And the beacon we found, Dongyan asked. A warning system. When humans reached a certain technological threshold, it activated, alerting the coalition, now calling themselves the Galactic Concord, that we might be close to rediscovering our past. Juwu paced around the chamber, absorbing this information. So the aliens didn't come to welcome us to the galactic community. They came to contain us. Exactly, Tahoe said. The technologies they shared are carefully selected. Nothing that would help us advance too quickly in space travel or weapons. Nothing that would help us remember who we really are. Neri had been examining a different set of data. There's more, she said. The genetic changes they made to humans. They are still actively maintaining them. What do you mean? Ju asked. According to these records, the changes would naturally fade over generations as our DNA tried to revert to its original state. The aliens have been periodically introducing compounds into Earth's environment, our water, our food, to reinforce the limitations. So the medical advances they shared, Dongyan began, are partly to ensure we stay limited, Neri finished, while appearing to help us. Juwu felt rage building inside her. They've been lying to us from the beginning, treating us like children. No, like prisoners. But now we know, Tahoe said, and we can find a way to reverse what they've done. Neri had discovered a database of the original human genome. With this, we could potentially undo the genetic tampering, return humanity to its full potential. We need to get this information back to Earth, Ju said. People deserve to know the truth. They gathered all the data they could store on their ship's computers. Neri found formulas that could counteract the alien genetic suppressants. Tahoe copied historical records and language files. Dongyan downloaded military technologies and defensive systems. If we can make it back through the defense field, Dongyan said, we can share this with scientists on Earth. Start undoing thousands of years of alien manipulation. They were preparing to leave the underground complex when alarm signals blared from their communicators. What's happening? Ju asked. Dongyan checked his device. Proximity alert from the ship. Something's entered the planet's atmosphere. They rushed back to the surface and emerged from the ruins to see 3 ships descending from the clouds. Their designs were unmistakable. 1 Vela, 1 Ari, and 1 Thandari. How did they find us? Neri asked, voice tight with fear. The defense field, Dongyan realized. When we passed through, it must have triggered an alert. We need to get to our ship, Ju said. Now. They ran through the ancient city, dodging between crumbling structures. Behind them, the alien vessels landed where their own ship was docked. They'll cut off our escape, Dongyan said. There must be another way, Ju insisted. This was once the capital of human civilization. There has to be something here we can use. Tahoe stopped suddenly, staring at a symbol on a half-collapsed building. Wait, this says Defense Command. There might be weapons inside. They entered the structure as the sound of alien craft grew louder. Inside, they found another control room with dead consoles. Can we activate anything? Ju asked desperately. Neri examined the ancient technology. Maybe. These systems are designed to recognize human DNA. If I can supply enough power. She connected their portable power cells to the main console. Lights flickered weakly. Hurry, Dongyan said. They're getting closer. The console suddenly hummed to life. A holographic interface appeared, displaying words in the ancient human language. "It's asking for command authorization," Tahoe translated. Jiwoo stepped forward and placed her hand on the console. "Tell it we're humans returning home, and we need help." Tahoe entered the command. The building around them began to vibrate. "What's happening?" Nari asked. Outside, sections of the ground slid open. Ancient defensive weapons emerged from hiding places throughout the city, powering up for the first time in millennia. "The city's defenses," Dongyan said with a grim smile. "Still operational after all this time." Through the building's broken windows, they watched as energy beams shot toward the alien ships, forcing them to retreat. "This won't hold them for long," Dongyan warned. "We need to get to our ship now." As they ran toward the clearing where the Curiosity waited, Jiwoo realized the truth they carried was more explosive than any weapon. It would change everything humans believed about themselves and their place in the universe, and the Galactic Concord would do anything to keep that truth buried. Jiwoo and her team raced toward their ship as ancient defense systems battled the alien vessels overhead. Energy beams crisscrossed the sky, forcing the Concord ships to take evasive action. "We won't have much time," Dongyan shouted as they reached the Curiosity. "Those defenses are thousands of years old. They won't last long against modern weapons." They boarded quickly, and Nari rushed to the engine controls. "Powering up now. We'll need to break atmosphere fast." As the engines hummed to life, a beam from one of the alien ships struck nearby, shaking the ground. Dirt and debris rained down on their hull. "They're trying to disable us, not destroy us," Dongyan noted. "They want the information we have." Jiwoo took the pilot's seat. "They won't get it." The Curiosity lifted off, engines straining as Jiwoo pushed them to maximum power. The ship shot upward, breaking through the clouds. Behind them, the ancient defense systems were beginning to fail as the alien ships concentrated their fire. "We have company," Tahoe warned, watching the sensors. "2 ships following us." They broke free of the planet's atmosphere, but the alien vessels were faster, gaining quickly. "We can't outrun them," Jiwoo realized. "We don't need to," Nari said. "While studying the archive data, I found something important. The ancient humans developed quantum entanglement communication. It can't be blocked or intercepted." "We have that technology?" Tahoe asked. "Not exactly," Nari replied. "But I downloaded the basics. I think I can rig something using parts from our ship's communication system." "Do it," Jiwoo ordered. "Even if we don't make it back, Earth needs to know the truth." As Nari worked frantically on the communications array, Dongyan manned the ship's minimal defenses. A warning shot from one of the alien vessels streaked past their hull. "They're herding us away from the defense field gap," he reported. "They know we'll try to use it to escape." Jiwoo made a split-second decision. Let them think they've trapped us. Keep heading away from the gap. She turned to Tahoe. "Is there anything in the archive data about weapons? Something we could use?" Tahoe searched through the files they'd downloaded. "Maybe. The ancient humans had technology that could disrupt energy fields. If we could modify our engine output." "Do it," Jiwoo said. As they worked, a transmission came through. Ambassador Leth of the Ari appeared on their view screen. "Commander Park," she said, her insect-like face unreadable. "You have violated restricted space and stolen classified information. Power down your vessel immediately." "You've been lying to us," Jiwoo replied. "Humanity deserves to know the truth." "The truth would only lead to more suffering," Leth said. "Your species once brought devastation to the galaxy. The Concord has maintained peace for thousands of years. By keeping us prisoners on our own planet, by tampering with our DNA." Jiwoo's voice rose in anger. "That wasn't your decision to make." The transmission cut off as another warning shot rocked their ship. "Quantum transmitter ready," Nari announced. "But I need to be closer to Earth for it to work properly." "And I'd modified the engines," Tahoe added. "We can generate a disruption pulse, But it'll drain all our power. We'll only get one shot. Juwu nodded. When I give the word, Dongyun, drop all shields and divert that power to the engines. Taiho, fire the pulse. Nari, be ready to transmit immediately. She swung the ship around in a tight arc, heading directly toward the 3 alien vessels now blocking their path. What are you doing? Dongyun asked. Something they won't expect, Juwu replied. They think we're trying to escape. Instead, we're going straight through them. The alien ships spread out, preparing to catch the Curiosity in a crossfire. As they closed in, Juwu gave the command. Now, the shields dropped. Taiho activated the pulse. A wave of energy erupted from their ship, spreading outward in all directions. The alien vessel's systems flickered and failed, their ships drifting powerless. It worked, Taiho shouted. Don't celebrate yet, Juwu said, pushing the engines to their limit. The Curiosity shot between the disabled ships and headed straight for the defense field. The disruption affects our systems too, Nari warned. We're losing power. We won't make it to the gap in the field. We don't need to, Juwu said. The pulse weakened the entire field. Aim for the thinnest point. The Curiosity hurtled toward the shimmering barrier, which now flickered erratically. They hit it at full speed. Alarms blared as energy coursed across their hull. For a moment, it seemed they would be torn apart. Then they were through, the ship damaged but intact. Power levels critical, Nari reported. Life support failing. Can you send the transmission? Juwu asked. Nari nodded. Activating quantum entanglement now. Back on Earth, scientists at the Luna Base Research Facility were startled when their systems suddenly activated on their own. Data began pouring in. Historical records, technical specifications, genetic information, and a message from Juwu explaining what they had discovered. Within hours, the information had spread worldwide. People watched in shock as they learned of humanity's true origins and the deception perpetrated by the Galactic Concord. Teams of geneticists began analyzing the data on the alien genetic tampering. They developed a counteragent that could be distributed through Earth's water supply. The same method the aliens had used to suppress human potential, now used to restore it. 3 weeks after the transmission, the first changes became apparent. People reported improved memory, faster learning, greater physical endurance. Children born after the counteragent was distributed showed cognitive abilities far beyond normal development. The alien representatives on Earth faced angry demands for explanations. The carefully constructed alliance began to fracture. Some alien factions called for Earth's immediate destruction before humans could fully reclaim their abilities. Others argued for reconciliation, admitting the wrongness of their ancestors' actions. 6 months later, a damaged but repaired Curiosity appeared at the edge of the solar system. Juwu, Taiho, Nari, and Dongyun returned as heroes. They had survived on minimal life support, making slow repairs as they drifted through space. By then, humanity had begun its transformation. With access to their ancestral knowledge, humans rapidly advanced their technology. The genetic changes accelerated with each passing month, restoring capabilities that had been suppressed for thousands of years. 1 year after the truth was revealed, Earth launched its first fleet of ships built with recovered technology. They established a defense perimeter around the solar system, not to attack, but to ensure humanity would never again be controlled. Many of the alien races, seeing the inevitability of human resurgence, chose diplomacy over conflict. The Galactic Concord dissolved, replaced by new treaties based on honest exchange and mutual respect. Juwu stood on the observation deck of Earth's new space station, watching as ships prepared for the journey back to Terran Prime. Beside her, Taiho, Nari, and Dongyun gazed at the stars. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Nari asked quietly. Juwu nodded. "Knowledge is never wrong. Deception is. Humanity wasn't ready for the truth before, but we are now." "And what about the species that feared us?" Dongyun asked. Their concerns weren't entirely unfounded. We were expanding rapidly before the war. That's why we need to be better this time, Ju said. We're not seeking revenge. We're seeking our rightful place among the stars. But this time, we'll remember the lessons of the past. As the first ship prepared to depart, carrying colonists to reclaim humanity's original homeworld, Ju thought about the long journey that had brought them to this moment. We were never meant to be confined to one world, she said. We were meant to explore, to discover, to grow. And now, finally, we can. The ships launched, one after another, streaking into the darkness beyond Earth. Not as conquerors, but as explorers. Humanity had reclaimed its destiny, not through war, but through truth. And the stars waited for their return. The end.